Hello, I'm Jessica Backhaus. I'm a German-American photographer and I'm living in Berlin. It was a very colorful childhood, and later on I spent some teenage years in a film archive from the partner of my mother. And I think in between this theater and the film archive, I started to have this desire to become a photographer. I do think in some ways it has influenced me because so many creative doors were opened and I had a window into these very artistic worlds. So I do believe it has influenced me. Yes, my work has dealt with portraiture, with still lifes. I did some documentarian work, and in more recent years I went more into abstraction. But in a way, I feel that all this evolution within my work happened in a very natural and organic way. For example, I started with my first project, Jesus and the Cherries. It's a project I developed in Poland some 20 years ago, and it was very documentarian. I did portraits, I did still lifes, some interiors. And then, yes, for many years I kind of documented what I saw and what I discovered. And then afterwards, in the last 6 years, when I developed another project of mine called 6 Degrees of Freedom, then I was interested in the notion of mise en scène. I was wondering what I can create if I do that myself. And so it's changing. I mean, it's changing how I see things now. I still go in a documentarian way, but sometimes, for example, my brand new work, the project, the cutouts, it's very concrete, but in a way it's a mise en scène because it's a work that I have created and it's not something that I stumbled across and then I documented it. So yes, it's all stepping stones, and yeah, it changes from project to project. I mean, I can only speak for my part, but I really look for the challenges and I do not want to stand still. I really like to explore various fields, and I like to challenge myself each time, because for the majority of the time I work on long-term projects. They go around 3 years, and for me I like to challenge myself. I don't always want to repeat myself and do the same thing over and over. Therefore, I look for new challenges. I also look for new ways of expressing myself, and it can be collage, it can be photography, or it is photography where I'm adding other elements to it. I do think for my part that it's a necessity to be in evolution and to push myself and see what I can do else apart just the simple act of taking a photograph. I don't see it necessarily only attributed to femininity. I also see it in masculinity, and I wouldn't make such a difference. I think creative people, that it be men or women, they all, or a majority of them, use these elements. I don't think you can only feel that it's goes to the feminine world. Abstraction is for me something, and a way of expressing, of showing my work, that it gives me room, it gives me the freedom to think, to feel, and also to dream. And I feel that sometimes people are, I don't know if I can say afraid, but they feel a little bit insecure or uncertain when there is something abstract. And maybe that has to do because we don't necessarily understand it when we see it for the first time. I think abstraction pushes you a little bit away from your comfort zone. And also I think it is really a special place where you have to feel and see. And I've noticed myself, sometimes I've come across projects, exhibitions, and I didn't really understood everything, but because sometimes I couldn't grasp it, it was very abstract, but I still was inspired because I simply followed my feelings and my emotions. And I do find abstraction something fascinating. In my latest work, the cutouts, it is work that I developed over 3 years, and it's basically different paper cutouts that I cut in various shapes and forms, and then I put them on various colored backgrounds and photographed them in the bright sunlight. And because of the heat of the sunlight, the paper was deforming and casting shadows and rising. It allowed for a complete different dimension. And initially I was a little bit, annoyed, because it's not how I had envisioned this series, this project. But then the more I looked at it, I was just mesmerized. And the cutouts have a very abstract allure, but they are, in the end, very concrete. It's paper photographed on paper in the broad sunlight. Giselle and me, we had a very beautiful friendship, and the fact that I did meet her when I was a photography student, I met her in '92. It really, that friendship that I had with her truly was one of the wonderful gifts I've been given in my life, and has inspired me and influenced me, not only because of her incredible biography, but what I really loved and valued the most about her was her courage, and also her curiosity. That has been very inspiring to me, and some of the conversations I've had with her, they still resonate with me today. And yes, I'm very grateful that we were friends. For sure, yes, I do believe in the spirit of sisterhood, and I do find it beautiful, and when women help and support each other in their life, in their work. And it is true that recently, I don't know, maybe even in this particular year, I feel it more and more, and I witness it, that women really are, much more opening their arms toward each other. They are much more supportive. They are more helpful. And of course, anytime I would say it is important to support women. And I think in ways there is a new era for women, but I think it's also an era where women are in strong positions and where they have a voice. But I think they're also very generous. Women are generous, and it's an era where, of course, men are alongside the women, and I think that's also the beauty. It's the differences we have between women and men that is also what I think interesting.